This is the 28th annual meeting of the Centerville-Washington Foundation. And we have the privilege of honoring David and Jenni Roer. To get us started, please welcome the Foundation's president, Debbie Dawkins.
I have had the pleasure of serving as president of Centerville-Washington Foundation for the last 2 years. It has been a great honor to serve with such an impactful team, and I thank them for all the work that they've done these past 2 years and the last 6 that I've been on the board. All good things must come to an end, and I'm not counting down the minutes, but I would like to introduce our incoming president, Carol Kennard. Carol has orchestrated this entire luncheon today. She is our events committee chair, and she handled the pickleball event, and I just can't say enough good things about Carol, and I thank you for your service and your friendship. Thank you to the generous support of our sponsors. The Centerville-Washington Foundation is able to give back to our community. Please, if you would, review the list of sponsors in our program and give them thanks when you see them. And so we'd like to honor and recognize our top sponsors. We have Dayton Children's Hospital. Thank you very much. Our platinum sponsors, Dr. David and Jenni Roer. Thank you. And also at the platinum level sponsorship, the Dayton Foundation. And Mr. Mike Parks is here with his team. Thank you. Our gold level sponsors, Key Bank. Thank you. Fran and Ralph Schwartz. Richard and Eileen Carr. And John Breed. Also, a special thanks to Miami Valley Technology and Communications Group and Richard Diaz for their taping of today's program. Patrick and Diane Earhart with Earhart Web and Tech for their technology support. Thanks, Pat and Diane. Bob Daly for his wonderful photographs of today's event. Kate Spencer, our representative with the Dayton Foundation. Kelly Ewell and Beth Duncan for the beautiful centerpieces. Yankee Trace, they do a wonderful job. And Richard, right before the program, said to me, this is Centerville's living room. Yankee Trace, I thought it was apropos. And finally, I'd like to give a special thanks to Mr. Terry O'Brien with Tri-Little Productions. He does a phenomenal job on our video every single year. Finally, the Roer Lions in the center of your tables will be donated to Dayton Children's Hospital following this event. We were thinking, what could we do? And this just popped in our minds. Since this event also serves as our annual meeting, we do have a little bit of business to conduct before we move on to the founders portion. Founded in 1998, the Centerville-Washington Foundation has been providing grants in the area of education, poverty, environment, arts, health, diversity, and social services for more than 25 years. Since our inception, we have reached new giving levels annually and are now nearly at $500,000, $446,145 to be exact. And we are so grateful for the generosity and support of all the individuals and businesses who have helped us build a better community. We accomplished this using generous donations from individual contributors, corporate sponsors, and legacy donors who desire to make a positive impact in our community. And I hope that you have had a chance to visit with our 2025 Community Support Grant recipients at the display tables to learn more about their programs that your donations helped with. So I will name them: Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the Miami Valley Mentors, the Centerville Community Band, POPS, the Music Man Experience, the City of Centerville Veterans Memorial Plaza Expansion, Food to Go Pantry Restock, Miami Valley Technology and Communications Group Camera Equipment, Ronald McDonald House Charities Bedding, the Therapeutic Riding Institute Scholarships, Washington Township's Recplex Pool Lift, for a total this year of $18,600. We would now like to announce the 2026 Community Support Grant recipient, Centerville Community Band Summer Concert Series, Centerville Pops. Centerville Community Chorus Performances, Centerville High School After School Driver's Education Program, Daybreak Indoor Half-Court Basketball Court, Primary Village North PTO Playground Resurfacing, Relay for Life of South Dayton, Ohio, benefiting the American Cancer Society, Secret Smiles of Dayton Incorporated, providing beds to children, Wonder Dogs Rescue, Spay, Neuter, and Foster Program, for a total this spring of $21,300. Thank you all. This year, the foundation awarded our $10,000 Community Impact Grant to the Mosaic Institute. The Mosaic Institute is an arts organization that specializes in bringing people together through the creation of mosaics to foster connection and empathy, address barriers that create division, and inspire change. And I would like to invite Jess McMillan from the Mosaic Institute to share more about this funded project. Jess.
Hello, thank you for having me. I am very excited to be here. My name is Jess, and I founded the Mosaic Institute of Greater Dayton 11 years ago in Miamisburg. I learned the art of mosaic from my high school art teacher when I was 16 years old. I absolutely loved the art form. It just fit with my brain, and I created mosaics through college. My schools, both of them, the Art Institute of Pittsburgh and Point Park University, identified that art form as a very exciting, colorful thing, and quickly hired me to teach workshops and represent them at festivals. And so mosaic has always been a large part of my growth as an artist. After graduating, I moved back to the area and worked for the K-12 gallery, and that is where I learned how to not only create the mosaics, but lead hundreds of people to create even bigger pieces. And seeing the power of collaborative art kind of shifted my career into founding an organization to where I might make a bigger impact in my community using this art form. Founded with a mission to inspire, empower, and unify community through art, Our organization has spent over a decade bringing people across Ohio together to create large-scale public art installations that reflect the stories, struggles, and beauty of the communities we serve. We use the mosaic process to not only create large-scale public art, but to teach classes, to unify entire schools, organizations, and businesses through team building. What began as a vision to create meaningful artwork has evolved into something even deeper, creating spaces where people from all walks of life can sit together, connect, and rediscover one another through creativity. Through mosaic making and collaborative art experiences, thousands of individuals have crossed social, economic, racial, and cultural divides to create something lasting together. Mosaic is the physical representation of unity, from elders to children, from donors, staff, clients. Every single person is absolutely unique and necessary to create one big, beautiful picture, our community. I am really excited that we got this grant and now we get to come into your community and unify your people to create something lasting together that will serve as a physical representation of love and what we can do when we work together with teamwork. Proximity at the table is the first step towards understanding, compassion, and change. And in a world of today where there is so much division, and in the rise of technology where we aren't face-to-face as much and the authenticity is fading away, it is most important to sit side by side and create a future together. Thank you.
And I'd like to mention too that the project we have in mind with the Mosaic Institute is to honor the history of our communities, to bring our community together. We are just looking for the right spot, and sometimes that is hard to do, but thank you, Jess. We are very excited to support that project, and when we have more details, we will announce it. So now I'm going to turn the program back over to Richard to help us honor Dr. David and Jenni Roer.
David and Jenni Roer are a couple who strengthened the Centerville community and communities throughout the Dayton area through their leadership, compassion, and tireless service. Together, they built a legacy grounded in family, education, healthcare, and civic engagement. Their work has touched countless lives through schools, children's organizations, community institutions, and nonprofit organizations throughout the region. Jenni began her civic career at the Junior League of Dayton and has contributed to numerous organizations, including the Dayton Art Institute, the YMCA, Dayton Children's Foundation Board, and the Women's Board of Dayton Children's Hospital. She has been a strong advocate for early childhood education and kindergarten readiness through the Preschool Promise program. David has devoted his life to caring for children and strengthening institutions that support them. A pediatrician who began his career at Dayton Children's, he entered private practice in Centerville, and Dr. Roer built a reputation for compassionate care and dedication to his young patients and their families. In 1994, he was elected to the Centerville City Schools Board of Education, where he served for more than 30 years, 10 of those years as president. He also served on the board of Special Wish Foundation of Southwest Ohio. Today, we will have two speakers honoring them. Who are the live speakers, you might ask? Melissa and Stephanie Roer.
When people asked what we'd be speaking about today, they assumed we'd focus on our parents' incredible accomplishments in healthcare, education, civic leadership, philanthropy.
But honestly, we thought it might be more meaningful to discuss the truly heroic things.
Like our dad's inability to leave Fleming's Steakhouse without talking to at least 4 people that he runs into.
And our mom's commitment to overnighting a $4 birthday card for $16 just to make sure it reaches a relative on time.
But the truth is, those small things are connected to why everyone is here this afternoon.
Because our parents care. We didn't grow up hearing speeches about service. We grew up watching it. It looked less like grand gestures and more like our parents somehow saying yes to everything.
Yes to hosting, yes to helping, yes to mentoring, yes to one more school committee, fundraiser, patient, neighbor, and even yes when I brought home 2 lost dogs that followed me selling Girl Scout cookies in the snow. They found the owners the next day, but after years of wanting a dog of our own, it was the best 24 hours of our lives. What it all comes down to is that our parents' values are a lifestyle. This means that whoever they touch is somehow impacted. At the forefront for us are passion, humor, work ethic, loyalty, inclusion, creativity, love of the arts, and a desire to always keep learning. We know these values create a legacy, and one that will live on in this community and in us, and in the imprint that will leave in the world too.
As Steph said, our parents have a deep love of learning. Growing up, well, yes, summers were spent going to camps at the rec center, playing with friends, and visiting Kings Island. They were also spent ensuring our continuous education. At the start of each summer, our mom would take us to United Art and Education, a teacher supply store, where we would pick out a handful of workbooks in math, science, reading, and writing to complete each morning throughout the summer months. Complete your workbook, go have fun. I will be forever grateful for the work ethic, drive, and independence my mom instilled in me from a young age. She, along with her cousin Sally, were the first women in their families to graduate from a 4-year university. She was the first female president of the Ohio Staters, a student service organization, and one of the very few women to get her MBA at Ohio State back in the day. She went on to support my dad through med school and starting his private practice, and then became the volunteer and nonprofit force that you all know today. Back in the 70s, when my mom joined the Ohio Staters, their motto was thinkers, believers, and doers in and about the Ohio State University. My mom is the ultimate doer. Reliable, committed, and passionate about a to-do list. She once described herself as serious yet cheerful, hardworking, independent, hair-challenged, opinionated, and direct. These are all qualities I would proudly use to describe myself, hair-challenged included. After graduating from Northwestern, I joined a startup in Boston, an experience that helped me earn the University Fellowship Award at Ohio State. This allowed me to pursue my MBA on a full scholarship, right where my mom did years before. I now help run a $30 million startup with a majority female exec team while co-parenting 2 boys under 5. They'll grow up to see what multiple generations of hardworking, ambitious women can do for their families, their friends, and their community. And for that, Mom, I'm grateful to you.
While at work, I recently learned about a concept called blue sky thinking. It's a creative way for brainstorming without limits or preconceived constraints. It involves imagining bold, limitless possibilities for the long term, pushing people to ask, what if? This kind of thinking can create real change, and it takes people with a creative and curious stance who have a healthy risk tolerance. Dad, when I think about what makes you tick and how this has impacted me the most, I think about your penchant for this kind of blue sky thinking. Throughout your life, you asked, what if? What if I left New York and drove to Ohio for graduate school? What if I asked Jenni out on a date? What if I start a business? What if I run for local politics? Yes, these what if moments mark pivotal transitions in your life and have resulted in remarkable impact to the people around you and the community at large. But it is some of the more obscure what if moments that have shaped me the most. You and I have had many what if conversations over the years that demonstrate your deep curiosity and sense of wonder in the people and the world around you. Your ability to dream big and take action, to me, also means you are a fellow dreamer who enjoys the magic in the world around us. For example, I remember the time I discovered that we both believe in coincidences as kismet, or at the very least as something to find wonder in. When I was a kid, I remember sitting in your car wishing my favorite song, I Swear, by All for One, anyone, would come on the radio, and then it did. I pretty much thought I'd willed it into existence, but also believed in the magic of that coincidence. I shared this with you, and you told me that just that day, you'd been thinking of someone you hadn't seen in a very long time, and then you ran into them. And I can still remember how floored you were telling that story, giddy with delight, and I was giddy too, that we were connecting over this shared feeling of wonder. This spark that drives you to ask questions like, do you ever wonder how? Or what if? And the willingness to know that there is so much we will never understand is what I eventually realized brought me to work with children and families just like you. It is this spark that has allowed you to take risks in your life, to stand up for what you believe in, and to responsibly listen to the many people in this community. To be ever curious and ever in wonder is a value I hold most dear thanks to you. May our heads always be in the blue skies.
Our parents established themselves as pivotal members in Centerville because of their shared values. In particular, their shared value of generosity. Growing up, we saw it take different shapes in each of them, but it was unmistakable in both.
Our mom taught us generosity by always making time for others, whether it was for her children, her friends, or the community. She was the quintessential mom with the minivan, driving us for our soccer practices or dance classes. When I was a curmudgeonly teenager who didn't know what I wanted out of life, she packed up the car and toured about a dozen colleges with me and even flew across the country to help me get inspired, figure myself out. When it comes to her friends, Jenni Roer is there for a good time and the hard times. Whether it's a ladies' trip, your daughter's bridal shower, or sitting Shiva, Jenni Roer is there. And she managed to do all of this and still make time for countless community members through her volunteering and work. How is it all possible, you ask? You can thank my mom's precious Franklin Covey leather-bound calendar that we would go to the stationery store for every year. With her calendar in tow, our mom shows up and gives 110% to the people and causes she loves.
And our dad taught us generosity through his unwavering support. If we needed an outing, off we'd go to the movies, Magic Castle, or the pharmaceutical party of the weekend. Those were the days. If we needed some laughs, out would come his infamous Donald Duck voice or silly magic tricks. If we needed some quiet time, he'd happily head to the golf course and give us all the space we needed. If we needed some medical knowledge, he'd let us tag along on hospital rounds, watch him stitch up a busted chin, or my personal favorite, drain earwax from a clogged ear. If we needed 150 Beanie Babies or the sold-out Tamagotchi toy, challenge accepted. And he holds this same unwavering support, not just for us, but for everyone. Because at the end of the day, what's always mattered to him most is taking care of the people, patients, and community he loves. When we were kids, we honestly thought everyone's parents spent this much time thinking about other people.
We thought it was normal to see community not as something separate from your life, but as deeply intertwined to life's meaning.
It became obvious just how deep their commitment to community was as we saw how they spent their time in Centerville after we both moved away. Our dad remained on the school board, let's just say for a long time, and they continued to root for the Elks. Our mom took her skills for volunteering and advocacy and continues to passionately support early childhood education, including spending many educational weekends at the Boonshaft with her grandkids. They patron their favorite spots in the neighborhood and are quick to tell us about new businesses they are excited to show support for.
We see pictures of them dressed up for the art ball and celebrating the 4th of July on Main Street. We hear about who they ran into at Kroger, likely one of you, and the latest updates in local politics. It's all of these small, everyday moments and conversations that confirm to us that their esteemed contributions to healthcare, education, social justice, the arts, and more are not merely resume items, but extensions of character and a unified philosophy. People matter.
The older we get, the more we understand that what makes our parents exceptional isn't just what they've achieved. It is how many people have felt seen, supported, encouraged, welcomed, and believed in because of them.
At home, they were simply mom and dad.
But we've come to realize these same qualities of passion, drive, curiosity, and generosity shaped friendships, committees, patients, nonprofits, and entire communities. Mom and Dad, we are incredibly proud to be your children. And today, it's wonderful to see a room full of people who feel similarly grateful for your presence in their lives.
We love you. Congratulations.
All right, are we ready for the video?
For over 40 years, Dr. David and Jenni Roer have been significant figures in the Centerville and Dayton communities, demonstrating compassion and leadership in their work. Their partnership has built a legacy focused on family, education, healthcare, and civic responsibility, leaving a lasting impact on countless individuals and families.
It's interesting. I left the house this morning. I asked my wife, give me one word that best describes Dr. Roer. And she said kind, thoughtful, and I agree with that statement. But one of the words that I came up was advocate. Just a tremendous supporter of students, children, especially kids in public education, K through 12. Has been an advocate for Centerville City Schools for such a long time, and I've truly enjoyed his support over the years.
Jenni is an incredibly tenacious and passionate woman who is loyal to people, to causes, and to her family. And she's somebody who is just a fierce advocate for young children in our community.
I would describe him as full of life, that he exudes positive energy and just really a love of life and a love of what he does.
I just found out through both of them that volunteerism and giving back really wasn't something that they just did as a hobby, but it really was the Roer lifestyle.
When tasked with finding photos of Dr. David Roer, we turned to that most reliable of resources, Dr. Google. And we found this Dr. Roer. No. This one? Nope. How about this? Yes, voila! It is our Dr. David Roer. Jenni, originally from Toledo, earned her MBA from Ohio State University, where she first met Dave. Dave, originally from a small town in the New York Catskill Mountains, was pursuing his master's degree in genetics. And while both were serving as academic advisors, Jenni walked into the room and he thought, she's the one. After earning her degree, Jenni began her career at the International Paper Company in New York, but moved to Dayton after she and Dave were married. They honeymooned in Disney World. Dave still has a soft spot for the mouse, and Dave finished his medical degree at Wright State University. They never planned to stay in Dayton, but now they would not have changed a thing.
Dr. Roer's involvement has ricocheted really across the community. First, as a pediatrician, when you talk about great pediatricians, of course, you always start with clinical excellence, and Dave embodies that. But he is so much more to his patients. He understands, gets to know them in such a very special way. He is the kind of pediatrician that parents implicitly trust and children never forget. And you're not that kind of person, you're not that kind of physician unless you recognize that your care extends beyond the walls of the hospital.
Well, that's kind of easy, but also immeasurable. Jenni and Dave just always showed up and stepped up for their daughters, our schools, and the Centerville-Washington Township area. Jenni simply never said no.
I think having him in the community is what this community is all about, right? It's his work, it's his support. He makes this a community that you want to live in and be a part of because he gives so much back to all of us in the community.
But in her role, Jenni really went above and beyond because she got to know the organizations and the people and the partners who were doing the work and really asked great questions and was curious about what the barriers were, what the challenges are, and really was then in a position to advise her board at the foundation on what they could do with their limited funds to make the biggest impact. So she just made a huge impact on putting early learning on the map in Montgomery County.
Jenni's community involvement began with the Junior League of Dayton, where she discovered her passion for civic engagement and leadership. Over the years, she has contributed to numerous organizations, including the Dayton Art Institute, the YWCA, and the Dayton Children's Hospital Foundation, and has been a strong advocate for early childhood education and kindergarten readiness through her work as executive director of the Tate Foundation, with Learn to Earn and Preschool Promise. She also was a founding member of the Centerville-Washington Diversity Council and served as its first chairperson. She served on the steering committee for the Create the Vision initiative and served as the first PTO co-president of Centerville's Kindergarten Village in 1991. In recognition of her contributions, she received the Citizen Advocate Award from the Centerville Education Foundation in 2002. Her efforts earned her a place on the Dayton Children's Women's Board, the Dayton Children's Hospital Foundation Board, and an induction into the Wright Dunbar Hall of Fame, as well as being named a YWCA Woman of Influence and a Dayton Daily News 10 Top Women.
He has been such a force in this community. I have so much respect for Dave's willingness to always stand up for what's right, to not back down. He's taken some positions over the years that were not necessarily always popular, but were the right thing for kids. So that North Star of always putting kids first and always putting the families that he cares for up front and advocating for them for whatever they need. I just respect him greatly, enjoy him. He's a lot of fun, and I've always enjoyed the opportunity to spend time with him and Jenni.
I am forever grateful for Jenni and what she has done in our community to support young children, but also to support me personally. When the community decided to prioritize early learning in Montgomery County, she was on the search committee to find somebody to lead this effort. And I had never met her until I walked into the interview, and I just am forever grateful that she took a risk on me and got behind hiring me and supporting the efforts that we've had at Preschool Promise. And I wouldn't be here without the role that she's played in the community.
Well, I'm pretty lucky, or I should say the Roers are pretty lucky because they have me as a neighbor. But I've had the opportunity to obviously work with Dr. Roer. He actually has been on the board longer than I've been in the school district, but I'm catching up now that he's retiring, as retired from the Board of Education. But I think their efforts in the community is just the work they have done to help volunteer, to be a part of organizations, again, to the support for the children, not just in Centerville-Washington Township, but in the Dayton region, is tremendous. And they're a great family to know and a great family to be neighbors with. And so I really enjoyed having the opportunity to really get to know Dr. Roer over the last 30-some years.
Jenni and Dave came into my life at a really pivotal time. Returning to Centerville as an adult and trying to figure out my impact on the community and our schools, I really looked to them a lot to learn to be a good wife. I watched what they were doing. I watched closely about what good parents do. And I also learned what my impact could be based on the impact that they made on those around them. And quite honestly, I can't really think of two people other than my parents that have made such an incredible impact on me.
Dr. Roer has dedicated his career to enhancing the lives of children and the institutions that support them. He began his work in the emergency department at Dayton Children's and later established a private practice, Pediatric Associates of Dayton, known for its compassionate care. Patients are permitted to stay with the practice as long as they are in school. One student at Harvard was still a patient at 26. Dr. Roer served on the founding board for the Children's Museum of Dayton, now the Boonshoft Museum, as well as that museum's board. He was named the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Man of the Year. Alongside Jenni, he has contributed to the Downtown Dayton Partnership Board and the Dayton Art Institute Associate Board, even co-chairing the Centerville High School Freshman Dance Assembly and the Dayton Holiday Festival. Dr. Roer's dedication has earned him numerous accolades, including the Community Physician of the Year Award from the state of Ohio in 2001 and the Advocacy Award from Dayton Children's in 2012. He has also been recognized as a healthcare hero by the Dayton Business Journal and served on the Centerville Board of Education for over 30 years, including 10 terms as president. His initiatives to improve student health, such as the early removal of soda and candy from schools and the elimination of a smoking environment, have received national recognition. A board member for a Special Wish Foundation, he has helped create meaningful experiences for children facing life-threatening illnesses. His leadership consistently reflected a simple guiding principle: doing what was best for the kids.
He's always calling and complaining that my grass is too high, or I need to mow my grass, or can I hire somebody else to cut my grass? The superintendent shouldn't be out cutting his own grass.
Hey, John, cut your grass. Come on, man, you're a superintendent.
Well, honestly, when I very first think about the Roers, the first thing I think about is mine and Dave's obsession with OH. Dave and I are huge Buckeye fans, and it is a really good Saturday in Columbus when he begrudgingly can pull Jenni along to the games. So those are some fun memories of them and Buckeyes. But honestly, from the heart, when I think about Jenni, the most important thing that I can say about her is that she's a difference maker. From her children, to our schools, to our city, our township, our county, and honestly, probably way beyond, Jenni just really makes an impact on everyone around her.
He is quite the Ohio State fan, and I know his partner of many, many years didn't appreciate that in him, but certainly any of us from Ohio that are strong Buckeye fans appreciate that great commitment. But I think that passion for Ohio State really reflects in Dave's overall personality. He's passionate about everything he cares about, whether that is Ohio State, his family, and certainly the children of our region.
Smile. She always has a smile on her face. And champion for early learning and loyal friend.
As they approach 46 years of marriage, Dr. David and Jenni Roer have raised their family in Centerville while actively participating in community and school activities. Their daughter Stephanie thrives as a school administrator in Brooklyn with her husband Sam, while their daughter Melissa lives in Columbus with her husband Kevin and their 2 young sons. As grandparents, Dave and Jenni travel to Columbus as often as they can to spend time with their grandsons. Through their commitment to service and leadership, Dr. David and Jenni Roer have made a significant impact on the Dayton region. Their journey exemplifies the importance of dedication, compassion, and community involvement. The Centerville-Washington Foundation is proud to honor Dr. David and Jenni Roer as its 2026 Founders Honorees, recognizing their invaluable contributions that have strengthened our community.
Wow, we're totally blown away, and we're really happy the rain stopped and that John got out of the house finally. Oh, absolutely, and thank you, Melissa and Stephanie, for those incredible words. We love you and are so very proud of the phenomenal young women you have become. And just so you know, I'm just the warm-up act. This is the main event here. And we promise to be brief, so I better get started. Dave and I would like to thank the Centerville-Washington Foundation for this honor, especially Debbie Dawkins and Carol Kennard for answering all of our many questions, typical rowers, yes, and the board for making this event come true. You all make it look so easy when we all know there are a lot of moving parts to pull together to take an event off like this. Thank you. Thank you for everyone for being here today and for taking time from your busy schedules to join us. We truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you here. Thank you. Especially Melissa, her husband Kevin, and Stephanie. Stephanie's husband Sam would have loved to have been here, but he's back in Brooklyn holding down the fort. And now, since I have a captive audience, I'm going to take this opportunity to do a little bragging. All 4 of our children are thriving in their careers. Melissa is Senior Vice President of Marketing and Operations for a startup named Magic Links. Google it. Kevin is Director of Financial Aid and Compliance in the Athletic Department at the Ohio State University. OH. Okay, thanks. Good job. Stephanie is Director of Students and Organizational Initiatives at Barrow Street Nursery School and Greenwich House, a nonprofit that has been serving the community needs of Greenwich Village and downtown Manhattan for over 120 years. And Sam is the owner of Judy's, a coffee, wine, beer bar in the Brooklyn neighborhood of Sunset Park, if you're ever there. He opened a year before COVID, still going, and named after his mom. Just to be clear, she's very much still alive, so go to Judy's. Most importantly, they are wonderful, thoughtful, and loving individuals who each possess a very strong moral compass and high integrity. As well as being mom, dad, aunt, and uncle to two amazing growing boys, we could not be more proud of each of you. Thank you. Many thanks to those who made up such nice things about us in the video. Seriously, they are consummate champions of children. Debbie Feldman, President and CEO of Dayton Children's Hospital, Robin Lightcap, Executive Director of Preschool Promise, John Wesney, Superintendent of Centerville Schools, and a total surprise to me, where's Mindy Klein? Had no idea. She was Stephanie's first grade teacher and just retired and
Principal, right?
And oh, I was just going to say, thank you very much. She recently retired as principal of Primary Village North after teaching for how many years? Oh, you're way too young to be teaching for 35 years, but thank you. Thank you to all of you for being included, including us, and for doing all the work that you do for children in our community. This is really all about the Centerville-Washington Foundation. Thank you to all of the sponsors and all of you here for empowering the foundation to serve our community needs, as well as the grant recipients that are helping to make our community thrive. A great place to live and work, and my personal favorite, shop. I'd also like to acknowledge my mom, who was always there for me and who, with my dad, were my greatest mentors, and I miss them very much. And there is one more person I would like to thank. Who could that possibly be? As you know, Dave and I met just shy about 48 years ago at graduate school in The Ohio State University. I know the Michigan fans here today are just loving this. And I could never imagine where that first day of orientation as academic advisors would take us. Yes, that's how we paid for graduate school. We were academic advisors to incoming freshmen. Don't think about that too long. So it continues to be a glorious journey. Thank you, Dave, for taking it with me. Thank you for always being there for me. And yes, I do love you.
So I know there's a little bit of history, and I'll just give a little bit. I grew up in a small town in upstate New York with a population of about 350 people. It was a very small town. We had a small school that had grades K through 4 in my hometown, with only one classroom for each grade level. I actually had the same teacher for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. It was that tiny. My mom was a nurse. My dad was a businessman. He passed away when I was 12 years old. Public school, the teachers I had, are really what shaped my life. Our town's claim to fame, and this is reading directly from Wikipedia, Mountaindale came within hours of hosting Bach to Rock Festival, a concert that intended to rival Woodstock. And I know most of you here know what Woodstock is, in both scope and size. For the month of August in 1970, the hamlet hosted over 50,000 people, all hippies, until the court ordered it halted in less than a day before it was to begin because of the crowds. So why did I tell you this story? In all honesty, I don't know. It just sounded cool. So the one question I often get asked, or have been asked, is why did I run for school board and stay on it for so long? And I'll tell you my answer. I had just gotten back from a golf trip. I know, which shocks no one. And Jenni dragged me to a school board meeting, of which I was like, school board? What are you talking about? She goes, well, there's an organized group of people that are intending and wanting to ban books. And we need to go and stand up for our community. So we got there, and some of you remember that, which seems to be happening over again. But at that meeting, one gentleman stood up and started reading vulgarities from different books that we have in the community. And after a minute or so, our superintendent, Frank De Palma, had asked him to stop. And obviously, most of you know Frank, and you really don't want to not stop when Frank asks you to stop. Well, he finally agreed after a while, continuing to rant and rave. And finally, Frank just put up, done. He turned around at that point and gave the Nazi salute to Frank and the school board. And at that point is when I turned to Jenni. Not in my district. It's not going to happen. So that was 33 years ago, and why I ran for the board and stayed on the board. So we don't want to see this kind of stuff happening, and we just got to be very careful as we go forward. I had the honor of working with 4 superintendents, which are all here tonight, which is great. Frank DePalma, Gary Smiga, Tom Henderson, and now John Wesney, who got out of his house and mowed his lawn. Thank you. I worked with numerous administrators, staff, students, fantastic teachers who devote their souls to providing the best education to our students. And I also worked with many school board members who are also devoted to keeping Centerville schools great. And despite what some may think, they really don't do it for the money. When we started, our salary was $80 a meeting. And I remember they told me, oh, you only have 1 meeting a month. The first month, 6 meetings that month. But it's honestly been great. I also have had the honor to work with Washington Township trustees, city council members, parks, libraries. All have really make living here one of the absolute best decisions that Jenni and I have made. It's days like this that remind me how great this community is. What a privilege it is being a small part of Centerville schools, what an honor it is being part of the school board, and what a blessing it is to have met such great people like you that are here today. I also must thank Dayton Children's Hospital, and Debbie's here for that. My career started, as they said, as an emergency room doctor. Children's helped our practice get started in 1989, and the ongoing relationship with this hospital still exists today. Having a children's hospital in this community is something we should never, ever take for granted. It's a great thing to have, and not everyone is blessed to have that. And especially big thank you to the families, some of which are here today, actually, that trusted me to care for their most precious possessions, which are their children. And I thank you for that. And lastly, but most importantly, Jenni, my family. My parents who instilled in me that giving back and caring for people, especially those that need the help the most, is an obligation that we all have and we should all do. My wife, who as we are considering marriage, went to my friends and said, "Do you really think he has any potential in this world?" True? It's Well, when I heard that, that's when I applied to medical school, because I knew I had to do something. So,
You were on how many softball teams when you were getting your master's?
6, but that's okay. Okay, this is my time. We get along great, honestly, we get along great. And to my children and their husbands and my grandkids, what a blessing this is to basically have them here and hear these things from them. I mean, I think every one of us look forward to hearing those kind of things. And, I joke, it's like you stand here and you think, wow, this is what it's like reading my obituary when I die. So it's nice to be alive to hear some of these nice things. It really is. It really is. I am, I know, sorry. Anyhow, Jen and I really are humbled and grateful and thankful for all you being here, for the foundation, and thank you very much.
Jenni and Dave's passion, dedication, and selflessness have enriched countless lives throughout our community, especially the children of our community. Each year, we donate a portion of the proceeds from today's event to an organization of the honorees' request. And this year, David and Jenni have chosen the Centerville-Washington Foundation as their charity. thank you. To the generosity of donors to today's event, we are fortunate to be able to present a check to ourselves for $14,000. As we close today's event, let's think about what a founder is. It's someone who helps others and helps those around them serve as well. Let us all stand and once again thank Dave and Jenni for who they are and all they've done for our community. Thank you.